Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of the This Is Gonna Hurt podcast with Jay Gordon Duncan. And if you're wondering why the J, the answer is I'm not a bagpipe player. And if that joke doesn't make any sense, I encourage you to check out episode 0, where I explain the explanation behind that joke, and I'm gonna stop there. Some of you are used to me saying where we talk about faith, family, fitness, and finances, but I'm putting a hold on that for the moment to let you explain where we're going, where the This Is Gonna Hurt podcast. The show has taken a few evolutions in the past 7+ years, and we're going to take another one. And that's what I want to do with this episode. If you've been listening for the last few months, you know that this show, This Is Going to Hurt, has been running concurrently with the Capitalize Your Best podcast. And basically, I've been recording one episode and publishing them on both platforms. Well, now that time has come where we finally know where we're going to go. And so this past Wednesday, I broke off and put Capitalize Your Best on Wednesdays and explained how that episode is purely business based. We're doing business and marketing focus and moving This Is Going to Hurt back to its new direction, which is what I want to share today. You know, when I started the show years ago, I really just wanted an opportunity to kind of say what I wanted to say, interview some people. I was doing 3 episodes a week back then. And so I would do like a long form episode on Monday. Wednesdays, I would share the audio of my sermons back when I was a pastor. And then on Fridays, I was doing 5-minute Fridays. And that really is what was the basis of growing the popularity of the show, brought many of you guys in. Well, as things progressed, and ultimately when I retired from ministry, I didn't have a Wednesday sermon anymore, and Fridays I wasn't doing 5-minute Fridays, and I was focusing on so many other things. And so went to a Monday only episode and still did faith, family, fitness, and finances. But sometimes that seemed to be too much to kind of tackle all at one time. The Capitalize Your Best podcast had a couple of different iterations. Started out as it started out a show called Corona Business, which was helping your business thrive during the pandemic. It became the Capitalize Your Best Real Estate Marketing Podcast, and now it's just Capitalize Your Best. Well, in the story, of course, at the beginning of the year, This Is Going to Hurt was shut down temporarily through Spotify, and I didn't want to miss any episodes, so I just picked Capitalize Your Best back up, and they've been running together. But I knew that that wasn't untenable, it was untenable. There's no reason to have 2 shows playing the same thing over and over and over again. So Capitalize Your Best is now 100% business marketing focus. That's on Wednesdays. Now, what do I want to do here? So I'm going to make a few changes. Now, This Is Going to Hurt. If you see, I have a new graphic for it. This Is Going to Hurt is really going to focus on creating a better you. This Is Going to Hurt is going to focus on personal growth and personal development. That's really where I hope to push the show. Gonna have interviews with people. If I get the occasional pop culture interview, I'm still gonna do it. But I really want to focus on that because it's really what I'm passionate about right now, is continuing to grow. And we will talk about issues of faith, family, fitness, and finances. But I'm not leading with that tagline anymore. Really, it's This Is Gonna Hurt, creating a better you. The origin of calling the show This Is Gonna Hurt is because all change is painful. And if you want change in your life, you're going to have to go through some painful circumstances to get there. And I think along the way, the show kind of deviated from that. At the same time, I've been running these seminars here in town, Capitalize Your Best Life seminars, and they're the third Tuesday of every month, and they're in person. And we sit for 2 hours, and usually it's around 10 people, and have a little social afterwards. And we've had topics about silencing the inner critic, about navigating change. This next one, and I'll try to include the show link, the registration here in the show notes. I have one on May 20th from 2 to 4 p.m. And that's called Noble Purposes in Common Spaces. And that's really about just creating a space where people experience greater value, greater love. That might be anything from a chance cup of coffee that you weren't thinking that you were going to have with someone, all the way to inviting someone over to their home to make them feel incredibly cared for. And so it's about a space of hospitality. And so what those workshops have become, or an opportunity for me to still exercise the giftings that I've had back when I was a pastor, and then also move into the areas of just personal growth that I'm passionate about. Well, that's where that direction is going, and that's a bit of where the show is going to go here. You're still going to find where I'm going to say three ways to do this, but when I do the business stuff, that'll be on Wednesday with Capitalize Your Best. But what I discovered here, and this is going to hurt, is I was doing so much of that business stuff that it really just either needed to be a business podcast or something else. That's what Capitalize Your Best is going to do now. Here, we're going to go back to finding ways to advance and grow in our personal life, creating a better you. So I am going to talk about exercise, fitness, and running. I am going to talk about brain health because of my epilepsy journey. We're going to talk about those things. And yes, I want to have folks on and to interview them. I want to have folks on in that space that I think will have something to contribute. Like I said, every now and then, I can't resist the pop culture stuff. I'm tempted, believe it or not, to start a third podcast to just make that about pop culture, but I'm not going to. On a side note, I don't know if some of you guys remember, Emma and I used to have we used to have a podcast called You're Entitled to Your Opinion. And I've thought about reviving that to do that for movie reviews and show reviews and that kind of thing. We'll see. Emma's going to be home for summer. Maybe I can get her back on the show. We'll revive that podcast as well. But this is where this is going to go. I'm going to dig deeper into fitness. I'm going to dig deeper into brain health. I'm going to dig deeper into personal development. I'd like to do book reviews of things that I've read that are challenging. I'd like to bring on people with new perspectives about what it would look like to daily grow. I'm committed to getting better every single day. I've got some bigger goals, for my running that I'd like to share in here. This is not going to become a running podcast, though I would love to do one. I think what this is an opportunity for me to share more of my running journey, but really the internal nature of it. Like, for example, I'm reading a book right now by Cameron Hanes. I want to make sure I get the name of it correct. It's this book. It's called Undeniable: How to Reach the Top and Stay There by Cameron Hanes. And Cameron Hanes is an ultra athlete. He's an endurance athlete. He's also a world champion. Marksman, bow and arrow is his area, and he hunts. And he has these interviews where he'll bring people over to run, shoot, and lift. And then this book came out of that, having people over to go running with him, shooting with him, and lifting with him. And just in listening to his book, I'm reminded of areas in which I need to push myself more in terms of like my running and challenging myself in my physical fitness. And so that's where that's going on in the back of my mind. So what we're going to really have here is right now we're going to have two shows. We're going to have This Is Going to Hurt, which is about personal growth and making a better you. And I'm being really inspired by Cameron Hanes and other people right now, other people I'm reading and listening to, some mindset mentoring type stuff that's making a huge difference in me. Wednesday is going to be the Capitalize Your Best podcast. And that's going to be business and marketing focused. And I'm just really touring around maybe with relaunching the You're Entitled to Your Opinion podcast, which will be a fun review podcast. So we'll see what we do with that. All those things going on. But guys, right now, that's where things are going. On a side note, I considered changing the name of the This Is Going to Hurt podcast to the Capitalize Your Best Life podcast. Because they have very similar feelings. Because I have a Instagram and a Facebook called Capitalize Your Best Life. But right now, it makes sense. This Is Going to Hurt. It's got its own feeling, its own brand, its own following. I don't want to mess with that. So I'm glad you're here. On a fun note, I'm going to share more about this coming up, but this afternoon, I'm recording this on Saturday morning, I'm going to go do a massive recording project, a massive video project that's going to cover the areas both on Wednesdays and Mondays. So I can't wait to tell you about that. But friends, this is where the podcast is going. It's back to a standalone. It's got similar to its origins, But I think it's going to do more in a personal development space. So if that's what you're passionate about, if you want to grow in personal development, if you want to put your time and energy into making a better you every single day, then this is going to be the podcast for you. We're going to have some great guests coming up. I'm looking forward to it. And my friends, as always, thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe and review This Is Going to Hurt. Please find Capitalize Your Best, like, subscribe, and review that. And we'll let you know if we're all of a sudden going to be knocking out some episodes for You're Entitled to Your Opinion. We'll see. I just got to find that place to scratch that itch. But friends, thanks for tuning in. Can't wait to see what happens next. Hang in there, and I appreciate your faithfulness in watching and listening, and I'll see you again next week. Thanks, friends. Bye-bye.